Yeah, well. Yeah.
So it's nice that just many. Like you were saying, if there's sunshine. It's better.
Well, if you didn't want to come at 6:30,
Oh,
Well, I'm glad a couple people asked to check.
well, you know what? When they brought up the date thing, that's the first time I looked at the email because I don't usually look at it. And I didn't notice that the time was wrong as well.
No, I didn't either.
So that's why I sent out the correction.
And I sent out
I didn't know who you sent it out to, so I wasn't sure.
yeah, I sent that to everybody.
Did you only BCC me? Okay.
So shall we consider the minutes as they appeared in the newsletter? Does that yes, Margie's hurriedly reading so she can say. We're considering passing the minutes.
Oh, I haven't read the minutes.
Accept it.
Well, they're in the newsletter, so as they were.
You don't have to approve the newsletter, you just have to approve the minutes.
Yeah, well, whatever.
We have a motion, so Don can,
Sure, whatever. There you go.
and then we have a second. All in favor?
Whatever.
Aye.
Agenda.
Next month, we're gonna do the talk on that. That's one of the speakers from the APCUG
Oh,
that we've been using their speakers all year. On preserving your photos, because we've got all these digital photos now. And how to keep track of them and organize them and store them, and there's a lot of considerations once you get going. Because it's so easy to, if you have a smartphone, to picture. And then, you know, it used to be more selective. I think when we had film that we had to pay to be developed.
Does every picture you take go to your save, your photo saves?
Yes.
I mean, is there like a time lapse, like a day or
say that
something?
again. Does every,
Every picture you take on your camera goes to your photo gallery.
Yes.
Well,
And afterwards you
on,
go delete
on the phone's storage, yes.
But when you go back and delete a bunch of them, because they were like recipes or something you just wanted to save for that moment, does it
If-
get deleted then? Or-
There's two different parts to your phone's photograph storage. There's the stuff that happens internally to the telephone, and that's either on the internal storage or on the SD card that you've got in there. And if you have it set up, there's cloud storage that goes to your Google Photos, your Dropbox, whatever you have your camera app settings set to. Okay, so me, for instance, my camera is set to send my photos to my micro SD card, not the internal storage, because I don't want to fill that up. It goes to the micro SD card and Google Photos.
What if they tell you your iCloud thing is almost full?
Well,
Start
then you
deleting.
start to move things off of the cloud.
How could you go through, because there's some of this probably just, you know, I just want that moment. How can you go in your iCloud and delete?
Yeah.
Uh, Okay, well, all right, well, here we go. We're starting the meeting, I guess. Are we starting the meeting or you got anything more? All right, well, here we go.
Well, I was leading into next month's meeting.
Okay,
which
we'll go up.
We're gonna
All right.
be talking about.
Okay,
this.
go ahead and finish that up and then we'll get on this first topic.
Well, no, what I was, that is the next month's meeting, sorry.
Well, okay, but, all right, so let's see. here.
So
All right, so
if you
we're
want
gonna-
to touch on it today, then. But don't go too
Well,
far, 'cause
well,
we're
we-
gonna talk about it next month.
Yeah, but it's not just, well, maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't watched the video that you said. All right, so here I'm signed into Google, whatever. So I'm going to go to
Are
photos.google.com.
we seeing this on screen?
You know, we should be, I'm sure.
Now we're seeing the directory of the USB.
Yeah, why are we seeing that? Here's, okay, Now you're seeing that. I'm going to minimize our participants. I thought hide thumbnail videos. Yeah, okay. Well, I just move out of the way. All right. Okay, so you're seeing my screen. This is, why is this stupid thing here? Anyway, Google has suggestions, which I don't care about.
Nikki, to be clear, you're only going towards Androids, right?
No,
Okay.
you can use Google Photos with iPhone, and you can also use iCloud with iPhone. All right, so here is, okay, I took this picture on Sunday because I couldn't believe it was a pie for $1.50, and I wanted to have a picture of the
I do
shelf,
that kind of
of the
thing.
shelf sticker in case they said, well, it's not the right price. So anyway, all right, so I'm going to go, yeah, it was $1.50. A pumpkin pie, 8-inch
Oh.
pumpkin pie. So anyway, all right, so I'm done with it. So I can click on it and I can delete it. So there it is. I'm going to move it to the trash and it's gone. Okay, there's the
It's
pumpkin
something you don't need
pie.
to look at forever.
Yeah, right. That's something I don't need to look at forever. All right, so there's that, and then blah, blah, blah. I took a picture of my vaccination record because, you know, that's nice to have.
Yeah, I have that.
My torn apart snow blower, so I can put it back together one of these days.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, anyway, and there's a video I did for the Salvation Army at one point in time. And what is this garbage? Oh, I take pictures of CenturyLinks or, you know, router login and stuff like that. I have no idea what this thing is. Somebody brought it into the Salvation Army.
Oh, we were looking
I
at
tried to
that.
do a Google search on it. This is the same thing, but in red. Anybody know what this thing could be used for?
It's about
I think it's the
4 inches, 4
No, it's about this
Oh,
size,
that
long, from end to end. But
Yeah, I think they hold the mask instead of using something this thin. So. when you
how would
do
it
the
work
mask-
though?
If you wash it.
You see how it's
it
got
would dry
the
there.
the little holes on the side?
That, I see a hole there, but that's the only hole I see.
You know, I think you need two of them.
Nah, they've got different colors. Yeah, they're about this big, about 6-8 inches.
So he was Googling it, trying to.
I would try to do an image search in Google, but it didn't work. Anyway, so I'm in Google Photos and I can do it. And then okay, so if you go to, let's see here, I can't see this because of this. So if I go, well, here, I click on my Fred Flintstone, manage your Google account. And in here somewhere, there's something about storage. Oops. Storage, account storage, here we go. And it'll tell me how much I've got and how much, there it is. So I got almost 10 of 17 used. So I still got a little bit of space left. And that is, as you can see, we got Drive, I don't use it, Gmail, which I do use, and I've got things going back forever, and photos and stuff like that. So, you know, you'll know in Google how much you've got and how much you can
And
save.
we're assuming iCloud does the same.
iCloud, yes, they give you so much storage too, but I'm not
And there's a way to go. in
I'm
and
not
see
an
how
Apple
much
user
you
because I
use.
can't afford Apple stuff. So anyway. So that's the deal with your phone and storage. So yes, when you take a picture, everything that happens locally on the phone happens immediately. The transfer to the cloud, depending on how you have it set up, may happen immediately through cell data. Or if you tell it, nah, wait till I get Wi-Fi, it'll wait until you get connected to Wi-Fi to save your cellular data. So that then when you're connected to Wi-Fi, it'll upload the pictures to the cloud. Okay, that's what I have
It
it set
seems
for.
to happen, I just send mine to Google Photos automatically, and they seem to go there so quickly that if I took a picture and dropped it in the ocean, the picture would still be, it would be in Google
So you're,
Cloud already.
you don't have yours set to wait for Wi-Fi because you'll use your
Evidently
cell
not,
phone,
because-
right? You'll use your cell data.
Yeah, because I don't have, I'm on Google.
Right, I'm not.
I know. Well, anyway, so we're gonna talk more about this next month. Considerations and things. In that presentation.
All right, so I brought up the
It's
B.
gonna be called preserving your digital photos. That's next month.
So you've got two agendas on here. One's a B and one's a, I presume, an A. I brought
These
up,
are different, oh, B.
I got B up, okay, and that's what this one is,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
it,
next
that's
month. next month. I assume you don't want to do that now.
No, we don't.
Okay, so this one is okay to do
Yeah.
now?
These are some 5-minute recordings on my list of things that one of the speakers
Oh, come
from
on.
the LCCUG that we work closely with anymore, the Association of
Personal computer user group.
Personal Computer User Groups. And they've been a great resource for us this year with providing speakers and recordings that we can use. Pam uses their articles they have to share in the newsletter. And, oh, we use their Zoom space, because you know you have to have a Zoom account and so on. But as a member of the APCG, they give us our Zoom space out of an extra account. So Huey Hoplock did one of our presentations last year, and he does these little 5-minute website of the week. So I picked out some I thought were interesting that we could look at this morning, as well as talking on ourselves.
Tech for Seniors present the website of the week with Huey Pop-Up.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Website of the week number 7. I'm Huey Pop-Up. Today we're going to talk about this person does not exist. Which one of these are not real people, but were computer generated? On a scrap piece of paper, mark the numbers down. I'm going to show you several slides. Here's the next page. Mark down any you think might be fake. Again, mark down any numbers of any that you think might be fake. And there's one more. So how many did you get? 1 per page or 5 per page? More than 5 per page? Well, the answer is all of them are fake. Yep, even me. All of these pictures were generated by computers and not pictures of real people. Generative adversarial network. Here's the definition. Generative adversarial networks, GANs, are algorithmic architectures that use 2 neural networks pitting one against the other, thus the adversarial, in order to generate new synthetic instances of data that can pass for real data. They are used widely in image generation, video generation, and voice generation. GANs were introduced in a paper by Ian Goodfellow and other researchers at the University of Montreal, including Joshua Benjo in 2014. Referring to GANs, Facebook's AI research director, Jan LeCun, called the adversarial training the most interesting idea in the last 10 years. GAN's potential for both good and evil is huge because they can learn to mimic any distribution of data. That is, GANs can be taught to create worlds eerily similar to our own in any domain. Images, music, speech, prose. They are robot artists in a sense, and their output is impressive, poignant even, but they can also be used to generate fake media content and are the technology underpinning deepfakes. In a surreal turn, Christie sold a portrait for $432,000 that had been based on an open source code written by Robbie Barat of Stanford. Like most true artists, he didn't see any of the money, which instead went to the French company Obvious.o. In 2019, DeepMind showed that variational autoencoders, or VAEs, could outperform GANs on face generation. If you're interested in how all this works, take a look at the following articles. These articles will be listed below the video. Now, some good uses of GANs pictures: test websites, test or demo social media accounts, presentations, photos for PowerPoint, for Google Slides, or maybe perhaps writing a book or story. Need photos of people without getting signed releases. And of course, there are many other uses. Now, there's some bad uses of GAN's pictures. For a fake website, fake profile for a dating site, fake identity, and again, more. Send this to a friend and let them try to figure out who the family is. Those were taken from the pictures that I showed you earlier. So this has been the website of the week, number 7. This person does not exist.
I thought that was interesting to be aware. Yeah. That kind of, we don't see what we think we see anymore. And you can't, you know, if you ever watch Dr. Phil, he's always got these people on and says, oh, I'm in love with this person I'm emailing or I'm texting with, or emailing with. And usually the spammer or whatever, the word Fisher, whatever, takes somebody else's picture off another Facebook account. And Dr. Phil.
Sorry, I wanted to get this ad out of the way.
And Dr. Phil will have his people on it, and then he can go do reverse search and say, oh, it's really so-and-so, you know, so-and-so, so-and-so. He's not the one. They're just using his picture. Well, now they can just generate a picture, and you think you're talking to that person. But,
We want to do the
yeah, so the
fake
second
time.
one.
Maybe your cousin is better off than just the landline.
Yeah, she saw this. Real happy with what she said. And this other one is related, but I just thought it was some, you know.
A viral hit on TikTok or has season.
Freaks, man. We live in freaky times like that. Looks exactly like Tom Cruise. It is real. You're gonna see my video of Chris Fleming. You get introduced to the wonderful world of how AI and VFX are unlocking the future of our imagination.
I made the Tom Cruise deepfake, and it was one of the biggest viral deepfake videos on the internet ever. I'm Chris, and I'm a VFX and AI artist. I'm trained as a cameraman. I've been doing VFX for about 8 years. The first time I heard about deepfakes is the end of 2018. It was on a new channel where they were talking about people misusing the technology in pornographic videos. And that made me realize there were a lot of great possibilities. A deepfake is a video where someone's face has been changed into another. So, for example, in the videos I make with Miles Fisher, you don't see Miles Fisher's face, no, you see Tom Cruise's face. I just overlaid it on top of Miles.
If you're helping 2020 together, we'll do.
The way I train a deepfake is where I tell a computer model to start training on thousands of images of a certain character. In my case, it's Tom Cruise. Thousands of images, all his expressions, all his angles. So in the end, I have like one big model, and it's like one big Tom Cruise model. All of Tom Cruise's emotion is in this model.
Yeah. To myself. Because discipline.
Oh. At the end of 2020, I got contacted by Miles Fisher, Tom Cruise impersonator, one of the world's best. He was doing this Tom 2020 project where he's impersonating Tom Cruise going for presidency.
Why vote for me? I'm not justice for every man. I've literally been every man. I've been a Navy pilot, a lawyer, and a Navy warrior.
And a few weeks after the video, he contacted me again. And he asked me, would you like to do a collaboration, just have some fun? So he sent me this video where he was standing in his garden and he was saying like, go watch my podcast because Miles has a podcast. Go watch and listen to my podcast. It was just something really simple. And 2 days after I sent him the final video, he sent me a screenshot, and he actually made a TikTok account called Deep Town Cruise. And he sent me a screenshot of the channel, and he had like 45,000 followers and 2.5 million views.
I'm gonna show you some magic. It's the real thing. I mean, it's all the real thing.
When you watch our videos, I want you to be perplexed, like, is this Tom Cruise or is it someone else? So the first video now is the one where he's playing golf, and that one went viral. It's unbelievable. The Twitter was overloading. If you type it in YouTube or on Google, you'll find so many articles. And I think after a few days or after a week or two, we had like 10 million views on that specific video. We had a few videos, and all of them went viral in their own way. And so you had a lot of people talking in the comment section, talking about, is this Tom Cruise? No, it isn't Tom Cruise.
This dude this guy on the left has been pulling a real Tom Cruise thing for a while with the deep fake. And when I saw this article, I was like, oh, makes sense why it looks so good. Because the guy, his face shape is basically Tom Cruise.
Yeah. And they were like trying to convince each other to believe in certain ideas, like it's Tom Cruise just being weird because he's going to make a new movie.
I'm Tom Cruise and I'm running for president of the United States. America, complete.
Guessing he got 100 million plus views. At one point, Miles told me, maybe it's good because I'm pretty sure Tom Cruise is seeing these videos now. We sent an email to his agency, and let's just say, if you want us to stop what we're doing, we'll take the videos offline. And after that, he called his agency and he asked them, did you receive the email? And they say, yeah, we received it, but we still haven't got a reply. So we guess it's okay.
So again, can you believe anything you see in here? And I think of like in the divided world of politics, somebody could be making and showing somebody saying something he never said or wanted to say, and you don't know whether to believe it or not.
Was that the same technology that they used?
Well, that's what I'm not clear on. It's gotta be,
Like 6 maybe years ago, they had a video of Nancy Pelosi. It looked like she was slurring her speech.
oh, yeah.
Just slow it down.
I think they
No,
slow
I
it
think there
down.
was more to it than just.
There was more than slowing it down. Yeah, I suspect that wasn't as sophisticated as this.
They didn't have that modeling that they did.
Yeah, they didn't have that quite, but you know, that was leading up to,
They're just practicing.
yeah. But think how this can really mess up the
Scary.
world. I mean, if things get more contentious, then you can't believe anything.
You put a clone of the president saying something that the World War III breaks out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I mean, people can just actually see somebody and hear two different things, you know, so if they're doing this.
And the fact that they took Tom Cruise is kind of creepy to begin with.
No, it's because they had that model who was a double for him.
Yeah,
That's why.
that and the fact that.
Yeah, because his hair
He's got
was,
so many places that you can pick up images.
yes, exactly,
But he
whereas,
He has some kind of little things of his own going on.
yeah. True. Yeah, somebody like that would be easier than your neighbor or something
Yeah.
who doesn't have a zillion
My
pictures.
neighbor's just waiting to pick up the trash cans. That's all he wants to do. He just can't wait for the trash truck to come.
So I thought those two kind of went together to just be aware and be thinking that nothing is what you see anymore. And we can share some of these links if you want to explore it more, but it is really amazing. You know, and if this is going on right now, whether this is 2022, who knows in 5 years what everything's gonna look like.
This kind of explains my brother telling me that he saw a picture of President Biden with his underpants on over his regular pants.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if somebody
sure that
like
was
this
a-
hadn't done that, you know?
And that again is probably not that hard. to
No,
do.
that would be an easy one to do in
That's just
Photoshop. Yeah. All right, so do we want to do this radio
Yeah, we can
online?
do the next one.
Okay.
Like I said, I went through Huey's collection and picked out some of my documents,
All right, let's see here. Radio
which are all posted on Facebook.
Tap to see your presented website of the week with Huey pop-up.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Website of the week, number 6. I'm Huey Poplon. Today we're going to be talking about Radio Garden. The website is radio.garden. This is what it looks like. We're going to do a demo in just a bit. Radio Garden invites you to tune into thousands of live radio stations across the globe. Radio Garden is based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Their dedicated team is hard at work attending to the garden on a daily basis, planting seeds for the future and keeping the weeds at bay. Those are their words. In 2018, they launched mobile apps for both iOS and Android platforms. In 2019, they introduced the ability for users to search for their favorite stations and places. In early 2020, they launched a major redesign of Radio Garden, rebuilt from the ground up as a mobile-first experience. It lays the groundwork for future developments. Radio Garden and its iOS app, Radio Garden Live, presents a Google Earth-like globe of the world. As you spin around it, myriad green dots appear. Each dot represents one place, a city or a town, where there is at least one radio station. Tap on any of them if you're listening to that station. It sometimes takes a moment for them to start as the connection is buffered. And Radio Garden quite subtly plays the sound effect of an old-time tuning in. But it's never more than a moment's delay before you can hear the station relayed live. If you like the station, you can mark it as a favorite, and you really should. Fortunately, there is a search feature. If you know the name of the station, enter the station name or the region where it's broadcasting from, and Radio Garden will first show a list of the most popular stations there. You can then tap to see the complete list of location stations available in that area. And whichever way you find a station, you can then share it with others or tap to see where it is located on the globe. Radio Garden works on iPhone, iPad, Android, Chromebooks, Mac, or a PC. Radio Garden is free, ad-supported app on the iOS App Store. There's an in-app purchase of $2.99 to remove the advertising. There's an Android version of the app that does work on Chromebooks. For the demo, I'm using the browser version on my PC. Here's how it looks in the Chromebook Play Store and on the Chromebook. If you have a full screen, it's going to look like the left. If you have a partial screen, it will look like it is on the right. Here is a screen capture from my Samsung Android phone and from my iPhone before you install the program. Here's how it looks like on the Chrome browser on my PC. We're going to look at that in just a moment. Please note, due to copyright issues, when I go to a radio station, you will not hear the broadcast. To listen to any stations on Radio Garden, you'll have to visit the site or use the app. When you try the site, you will hear the actual radio station live. There's no static and all stations are so very clear. So let's look at Radio Garden. This is Radio Garden. It looks a lot like Google Earth. If you move the globe around, you can see all those green dots in this general area here as we zoom in. Let's move into that area. We're in Stuttgart, Germany. You will see over here on the left, it shows Stuttgart, that's the city we're in. It shows 22 radio stations that are available to listen to. And here are some of the selected ones but you can also look at all 22. And you can't hear, I'm listening in my headset, and I am hearing a radio station. You can't because of copyright issues, I can't record those. So, but you can go to a radio station here, and I'm listening some rap music. Listening to here, you'll get live caption, and some of the live caption can be, if it's in English, you'll see the words, and if it's music, which this is, I'm going to shut it off and stop. But the music, if you can hear it properly and listen to it properly, you may see the words to the songs, but a lot of songs it can't interpret properly or at all. And of course, if they're foreign languages, it's trying to put down words that are English words, and of course, it's not at all. But you can go to any of these radio stations by clicking on them. You will get various radio stations. Say, okay, down here, I got some choices. I can share the station or I can visit its website. I click on share the station. I can share it on Facebook. I can share it on Twitter. I can share it by email, or I can copy the link, paste that link. There is the link. And I could go right to that radio station. Also, I can say, okay, that's a radio station I like. Well, I'll click and get a heart so I can go to it later on, and I'll show you how I do that in just a moment. So I can go anywhere in the world and listen to a radio station. So let's come down here to Florida. Zoom in. I could go to any, but it says view all 25 stations. And so it looks at all 25 stations in the area. Some of them are streaming, some are not actual over-the-air radio stations. And not all radio stations are here. I went to one city where I know there's several radio stations, and none of the ones that I was familiar with showed up. But here's USF, University of South Florida. Some of these other stations, the one I listen to on a regular basis, is a talk station. You're going to see that they're talking. Now, if you click on favorites, I have clicked that one that I clicked earlier, and then one I clicked at a different time that I was on. It's a local station from here. If I click that, it actually will go down to that station. If I click this one, it'll go back over, go to Germany, bring right into that station. So let's say I want to WBBO. It's in Orlando. If I go there, bingo, it's right there. Let's pick another radio station, WOR in New York. Is it still there? Yeah, it's still there. If I go there, bingo, it takes me right up to New York. I'm going to add that to my favorites. And now I'm in New York. There's 216 stations in New York. I can look at all 216 of the stations. So if you're familiar with any of those, any of the New York area, you can see that a lot of radio stations there. And a lot of air stuff. And there's WABC in New York. I listened to when I was a kid. Move away from here, let's move to here. In Jersey City, if I click on that, you can see selected stations picked from the area, popular in the United States, nearby Jersey City, New Jersey, cities in the United States. I can pick any of those cities. So if I decided to pick Dallas, Texas, bingo, it takes me right to Dallas and shows me the stations there. As we come down here, if I want to say, okay, let's go to San Francisco, bingo, it takes me right. As if I zoom out, you can see where it's showing that. It might be talk radio, it might be sports. So if you know that a certain station plays the ball game that you're interested in, you can go to that station and be listening to it. Or if you want to listen to some music from your heritage, depending on where you're from, Europe, or let's see, if you're from Europe, all of the European, if you're in Africa, let's say South Africa, you can come down here. How about South America? And of course, North America, anywhere in the world. You can listen to the music, see what they're saying. And if you get the talk radio or the news and you understand the language, there are a lot of them are in English. And a lot of the music that's there is in English. Anyway, that's Radio Garden. If you want to spend a lot of time perusing, it's there. This has been Website of the Week number 6, Radio Garden. I'm Huey Poplock.
Are all radio stations digital now?
No,
No, I don't think so.
These were.
Yeah, at least must all be.
yeah, they all screen.
So if you wanted to hear something that was going on, maybe like during the Olympics, you might pick up a Chinese radio station and get more, I mean, of course, it's just audio, of course.
Right.
Still, you might know more about what's going, of course, they might not have any English language.
No, it wouldn't be in
broadcast
English,
there.
but you might get some from BBC, who knows, you know?
And you could get, sometimes if it's talk radio in English in another country, you might get a different perspective on what's happening throughout the world than was our own.
Yeah, I see your England's version of what's happening in Minneapolis after the trial or whatever.
Right, because you can do that now on the TV. If you look for Sky TV, I think it's one that does.
That's.
That's not what I wanted.
A projection.
How did I get that? You got
Area.
the,
And I thought of Lada, because I know Lada
yeah,
is always looking for music from India,
you put the same,
her home music. Do I have it?
you put the same URL in for two things here. Let's see.
She's always looking for music from India, like on YouTube and stuff, but I don't know if she's aware of this, because it might give her another source of the music she wants to revisit.
Let's do that one.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Tech for Seniors Pre-Center website of the week with Huey Pop.
I'm Huey Poplock. Today, we're going to talk about the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive is a nonprofit library of millions of free books, movies, software, music, websites, and more. Brewster Kahle, founder and digital librarian of the Internet Archive, is a passionate advocate for public interest access and a successful entrepreneur. Brewster Kahle has spent his career intent on a singular focus: providing universal access to all knowledge. He is the founder and digital librarian of the Internet Archive, one of the largest libraries in the world. Kahle is a member of the National Academy of Engineering, American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and the Internet Hall of Fame. In general, there's 70 plus unique petabytes of data. That's 70 million gigabytes. 65 plus million public media items, text, movies, audio, images, and so on. 1.5 million unique website users per day, and 17,000 uploads from users per day. And this is from figures from the year 2020. The Wayback Machine, which I'm going to talk about next week, has 588 billion web pages. Archive it as 49 billion curated URLs captured in 14,000 collections. Books, there are 28 million texts in the collection, books, documents, magazines, and so on. 4.6 million books digitized by Internet Archive, 3,500 books digitized per day in 18 digitization centers worldwide. Under television, there's 2 million news programs available for closed caption search. Movies, there's 4 million movie items, not including television programs. Under audio, there's 14 million audio items, including 220,000 live music concerts from 8,000 bands. There's 200,078 RPM sides digitized. Under software, there's 580,000 software titles, many emulatable through a web browser, and there's about 3.5 million images. You can see there are top collections at the archive, and if you scroll, you'll scroll for pages and pages. We're just going to take a snapshot of a few of them. These are top collections at the archive. We're going to choose movies for the first one. There's 83,057 items in this category. Watch full-length feature films, classic shorts, world culture and documentaries, World War II propaganda, movie trailers, and films created in just 10 hours. These options are all featured in this diverse library. We're going to choose comedy films. There's 292 items in that, and I've chosen the Charlie Chaplin's Good for Nothing. When you click on it, you'll see that it is listed there with all of his movies that are available through this archive. This is the Internet Archive Radio Collection, a widely diverse and massive collection of radio station recordings, broadcast captures, and radio shows and programs and more. One of the most historically important artifacts to come from the home computer telecommunications revolution were Shareware Cds, compact discs, put out by companies containing hundreds of megabytes of shareware. Some computer bulletin board services would attach banks of CD-ROM drive to the machine to allow users to access the disks, allowing the system operators or sysops to claim the BBSs had thousands of files available. My BBS was one of those. I had over 8 CDs available for my users to search and download. CD makers would declare their CDs BBS ready, meaning an easily readable directory of file descriptions was located on the CDs to be read by the BBS software. The wide collection of trailers and shows, recordings, and other captures on VHS tape are in this collection. The classic TV programs from the late 40s and 50s, commercials and more, titles like Your Hit Parade, The Perry Como Show, Howdy Doody, and the many westerns of the day. The Canadian Libraries page, the Toronto Scanning Center was established in 2004 on the campus of the University of Toronto. From its humble beginnings, Internet Archive Canada has worked with more than 250 institutions in providing their unique materials with open access and sharing these collections with the world over. From the archives of the Sisters of Service of the University of Alberta, IAC has digitized more than 600,000 unique texts as of September 2019. Here's what the Internet's Archives tabletop scribe book scanner looks like. And here is a picture of volunteers helping scan the materials. The Internet Archive. I'm Huey Poplock.
Is there a fee to join that?
No, you don't join, you just
Just
browse.
go there and
Right.
watch, listen. It's, can you go to that?
Yep.
It's, quite a collection. I mean,
Yep.
it's amazing.
How
The,
many websites does he have?
Who he?
Huey,
Yes.
he just keeps coming up with them every,
So
oh, you mean how many is he backlogged already? Yes, I'm not sure.
So
You
he
go to
just,
YouTube and search his name and
well, I was in his
collection.
videos, yes. I mean, he's,
Okay, there's,
this is his videos on listing on YouTube.
I gather all that stuff could be in the public domain.
What's that?
the things on the Wayback Machine.
On,
are public
on,
domain.
no, Wayback Machine is for websites. The archive is for things.
Oh, the Wayback is what he's gonna show next time.
Yeah, but the Wayback Machine is a way to look at websites
Websites. right.
through the
I-
ages.
I'm asking about the archives.
Yeah, but the,
Well,
what he just
Arch,
showed us are public.
the archive, yeah, database is mostly, yeah, it's not copyrighted stuff because that would be, against copyright and you can't do that.
Somebody was burning down by now.
You know, that,
So-
he has a collection of books, and I was saying when I first came in, I collect ebooks. And, they have a lot of ebooks, but if it's in copyright, you can like view it on the screen or it's got parameters on it, but at the beginning of the quarantine last year, they opened it up and let you actually go into copyrighted material. And finally, the publisher said, oh, no.
Right, yeah.
But for so many months, it was open and you could kind of download things. But like recently, I was looking for an old book and I happened to think, oh, that's out of copyright, yada, yada. So I came there, found it. And you could choose to download it as a PDF or a one other format, but it was like a loan, so to speak, for so long. So if you could deal with pulling that into your collection the right way.
Well, if it's a loan, you can't actually put it in the collection. then it's-
Well, I'm surprised it was a loan.
Not legally.
because-
Oh, so
I don't know if you want to go to,
Is this what we're talking about, these American libraries or?
Just go to where the,
I'm looking for books. Let's see here.
see where the little icons are, that's where I always go in
Yeah,
here.
but this is
Is that-
text, but is that what you
Yeah,
want?
text,
Okay, text, okay. And this is where,
Oh, well, no, go back. Oh, the books to borrow.
oh, well, okay,
And then there's Internet Archive books, I guess. You
right.
can come here and search for genealogy material too, because a lot of times they're just, simple publications that haven't been.
Huh.
But put one up and see if we can see how the options are to.
Renewable every
index.
hour, okay.
And then if you click on it, you can do it longer than an hour, I think, usually. But that might vary per item.
Well, I mean, if all you want to do is look at it, then I guess you don't really need to
Yeah,
borrow
you
it.
feel like you could go in if it's a nonfiction and do your search.
Oh, limited,
Yeah.
okay, so we don't get this, we don't get to see these pages until you log in. So I
Oh.
guess they do have some,
And actually, during the time this was open, I simply had 2 or 3 logins.
Oh, different library cards, Sandy?
yeah, I was gonna say, as you
Library
usually
card.
do, yeah.
Here's my card.
How many library cards do you have now?
More than 12.
When my grandchildren, who are now really old adults, when my grandchildren were growing up, I was going nuts looking for Baby Huey cartoons to share with them because they had never heard of
Oh, wow,
Baby Huey or Dot, those old.
little dots,
When I
yeah,
went to the library, what I was told, that they didn't have them either,
no,
because they used the word vault. It was kept in a vault, and they wouldn't let them out. And I'm wondering if I could find them now.
You might be able to find them now because people have a program to go in and scan the things in the vault. Of course, it's copyright, so many years and doesn't get renewed. Like Disney never wants to let their exam rights to
There's
expire.
adults that never heard of any of those cartoons.
yep. I don't-
Maybe you would need some.
Well, there's Baby Huey cartoons. I don't know if you remember the cartoons, but I don't see any of the actual comics. But they do have the,
No, I doubt that Disney would put their things in this article.
No,
Baby Huey was
they
not
own
Disney.
rights to theirs.
Not when they have a channel of their own.
well, that Baby Huey wasn't Disney. So anyway,
What if you click on, what is it?
it's a cartoon.
It is?
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Oh.
It'll probably be boring to our kids nowadays because it's a,
Because there's no.
yeah, it's very.
Oh, yeah? What are you talking about? No violence?
Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote, Bugs Bunny? Those were very, Right.
Cartoon physics.
right, cartoon physics.
Well, a lot of them are still known by the.
Oh, geez.
What they do is make you grow old trying to get the thing screwed up.
There we go. Yeah, that was Harvey, right. That was not Disney. Oh, wow. Look
That
how
wasn't
slow.
Disney. Oh,
No, Harvey Tunes.
I was thinking Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and that's the Donald Duck.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Donald. Oh, geez, this is
Yeah,
really
this is,
slow.
being taxed.
Either that, I mean, we didn't have any trouble with Huey, so maybe it's the archive.
Maybe that's the controls on the website. If you try to play cartoons, they slow you down.
That could be, because we are on the college's,
Those college people always doing something. with
let's see if we can get in the middle here.
They have like that. I know Mickey likes the old radio stations.
Oh, yeah.
They have a lot of the old radio stations. You remember when families used to gather around the radio in evenings? Nowadays, it's come so far from
There you go. You can-
sitting.
They're gathered around their.
Sitting for,
The
you know,
radio.
for a while, we sat in front of a little TV, the
Right.
whole family, but you had to be there at a certain time on a certain station or you didn't watch it.
Right.
And nowadays, everybody's on their phone, tablet, in a different room, doing a different thing, in a different schedule.
They don't teach cursive anymore in some schools.
Yeah,
So that would be.
They couldn't read this cartoon.
I was talking to a third grader and I said, have you got cursive? Wonder if you should do the word.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, well.
it's not doing too well, so.
So, the Internet Archive and the Wayback Machine, and actually we could show the Wayback.
Yeah,
Machine,
we can go back to the Wayback Machine.
which is part of that same collection, actually, I think you can click from. Under the other, has another interesting collection there.
All right,
And
let's see
Louis,
here.
Louis,
It's part of archive.org.
Yeah. See, here's a list of all the changes that have been made for our website. So if I wanted to look back and see what's,
yeah, this is LCCUG.com's website, our website, starting in 2003,
This is our website on internet, on the
as
archive.
saved on the Wayback Machine.
right.
Wow, who knew? I mean, how did they even find it?
Oh, they go out the web crawler,
They scoop it,
right.
they automatic scrapers or something.
Yep,
And those up and down things, it's like
those are the changes.
changes.
Let's see here.
You could go back to the day you were born and see what was happening in the news.
I doubt it, considering the,
Internet wasn't there. then.
right. All right, so here's our, what do we got here? December, I forget. what it was.
2005,
Yeah, February 7th, 2005. This is what our,
we were meeting at the library.
Reese Murdoch.
No, you were meeting at the hospital.
Location, Gold Auditorium.
Late nights.
School auditorium, that was the old
Yeah.
hospital.
Mhm.
Early on, it was the library, right?
Yes, when we first started, it was at the library, Lorraine Library.
You can see some of the things are still the same as today, others of,
When did you put all your newsletters and programs online? Was that like
Uh,
2020?
It was, let's see here.
if we go through it, we can.
Yeah, it's not worth it to go
We
through.
had URINet, remember when URINet was
Oh,
a
gosh, yeah.
provider?
Where, we, oh, they down here, huh? Yeah, how about that? Well, anyway, so that's the Wayback Machine. Oh, yeah. So that's what the Wayback Machine is for.
But you'll find that for other websites.
Oh, yeah, whatever website you
Whatever
want.
website you want to, you can go in and look. Okay, see if Microsoft.com has theirs.
Are you kidding me?
Something like
It's
that.
gonna be a solid block from all their changes. Well, 802. Oh, it's still loading. It's still loading. Okay.
But it's interesting to see how. I mean, it could be another source if you're doing research and so on, or just curious.
Well, oh, that was the site. I'm
What
sorry.
you were reading.
That was the site. Okay. I should have looked at, to see what, well, it should show us up here what the block looks like.
Are we searching within?
Yes. We're still searching within, because,
Within,
yeah, see, it's like I said, it's gonna be a solid block because they're always making changes.
I
So,
just wondered what their website looked like.
oh, well, let's see here. This is January 11th. Let's go back.
Like way back.
Okay.
There was a way back.
We went the way back.
August 26, 2011.
So. So this is what they look like.
Well, it doesn't look like it's loaded fully, but
Yeah, because it's,
run Windows 7.
Yeah, upgrade.
Yep, that's what they're talking about. Windows 7 upgrade advisor. So that was the latest one.
anyway, it's kind of fun to go back and look at these old
I
things.
want to look at the first Windows. What was that, 03?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, yeah, Windows 3 was really the first graphical.
The graphic, yeah. Remember things like they had that little guy, that little cartoon character?
Clippy?
Clippy?
Clippy, oh, I hated Clippy, and you know who's Clippy now? Google Assistant.
Ah.
Won't leave you alone, it's everywhere, it's in your face.
Invasive, yeah,
Yeah, very, and you can't shut him off.
yeah. Like on my phone here, it has Bixby,
Oh,
which I found how to turn that.
isn't Bixby Lenovo or something like
Yeah,
that?
I figured out how to turn that off.
They
It wanted
took,
me
they
to-
took Clippy out in the woods and, they made him dig his own grave.
Did we show what
Did
he
we
had
want-
to say about? it?
No, we want to watch the thing about
How long
Wayback
is
Machine
it?
from Huey. It's 5 minutes. So we want to watch what he has to say about it, or you're okay with Wayback Machine?
You want to see what Huey had to say about the way back?
Okay.
Okay. let's say okay.
All righty.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Tech for Seniors pre-sent the website of the week with Huey Pop-Up.
I'm Huey Poplock. The website of the week, number 4, the Wayback Machine. No, not Mr. Peabody's Wayback Machine. It's the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine at archive.org. I mentioned this last week when I talked about the Internet Archive. You go to archive.org and you just type in a URL or some keywords and you'll get the Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine contains 624 billion web pages. 750 million pages are captured per day, and 550,000 users are on the Wayback Machine per day. Why would we want to look back at a website? One is nostalgia or history, the history of a club, an organization, a company, whatever the website was. Recently, an organization contacted me that they were interested in a website. They had one and lost contact with the person who developed it. They didn't have the password. And so I went and through the Wayback Machine was able to look at it, reclaim some graphics, and reclaim some of the images, and reclaim some of the information to be used at least in research and putting together a new website. And then just plain old curiosity is another reason to look back at a website. This is how you get to it. Here is an example. It brings up a list of all of the dates that have checked the website and gives you a calendar that you can choose which snapshot to look at. This happens to be a website of a company that I used to own, a computer company. This was from January 25th, 1999. It shows the number of visitors since 1996 in January. However, that number doesn't show because that was coming from a different website. Here are some of the things we had on our website, including classes on the internet. PSD Systems is conducting seminars about the internet for those who want to learn more about what the net is and how it functions. Entrepreneurs and business professionals will discover the lucrative benefits of using the internet, advertising, and doing business in cyberspace by attending this 3-hour seminar. You will see ways in which you can operate much more efficiently. Times certainly have changed. Let's go to my website, huey.net. It's been saved 229 times since the year 2000. It actually went online in 1995. Here's what it looked like in 2000. And this was December 4th, 2000. And you can choose topics. And those topics were, so this started out as my bookmark list and making it public. And let's look at another date. Let's look at July 11, 2011. And I had changed the website. And on the WinSig page on my website, it says, I have led the Central Florida Computer Society Windows Special Interest Group for over 15 years. That was in 2011, 10 years ago, and I'm still leading that group. So I've been doing it for over 25 years. And here's some information from my blog and from the welcome page. Here's the blog. Let's go to December 19th, 1996 for the Central Florida Computer Society. December 19th, 1996. This is what their website looked like. This was the program that was being presented by Symantec, Run Your PC by Remote Control, PC Anywhere 32, remember those days? And this was June of 2002, the website changed its look. And then also in May of 2009, let's take a look at the leadership. The president was Stan Wallner. Stan's the president currently. I was vice president at the time. One of the directors was Ted Goodwin and Mike Hungerman, you've probably met on some of the programs. Bob Black is still a member of the board of directors of CFCS. Here's that whole page. If you kind of glance at it, you'll see my picture several times, see Stan's and Mike's picture, and some of the others several times on it. This is another page from May of 2009, where Glenn Cofield from Smart Guys Computer. Smart Guys is still a major supporter of the Central Florida Computer Society. So this is the website of the week, the Wayback Machine. I'm Huey Poplano.
That was an extension of what we started to say.
Mhm.
Great job.
Is he still making new ones?
Yeah, I think so.
Huey, yes. I mean, look at, here's his, let's see here.
If
This
you
is
go to,
2 weeks ago, Chromebook tips.
yeah, he does a regular Chromebook thing. I don't know if he does a regular Windows thing too. Somebody does.
Website of the week, podcasts, Facebook.
What was his most recent website of the week there?
Number 7, this person does not exist. So
Oh,
Hey, Sam, who's something seniors that brings these, what did they say?
Tech for Senior.
oh, yeah, the Tech for Senior,
Tech, okay.
TECH number 4, senior singular.
Ah, there it is.
Has a website, and I listen to them almost every Monday at noon for an hour. And then, and I really enjoy it, because he's one of the regular presenters, and I just think it's put together well, and it has a lot of things that I find interesting. And then on Thursday, they do,
Podcast.
the Friday's the podcast.
Oh, that's
so
right. Yeah,
Thursday's
that's right.
online program where they do question and answers, and let's look at, they have a Facebook page where they're regularly sharing
Streaming.
a website of new information about computers they think their subscribers would.
Nikki, this is unrelated, but see that little message up there, it says set up professional.
Yeah, this
audio
is from
and
Zoom.
videos.
I don't-
What is that?
I,
Is that just from Zoom?
yes, is Zoom. I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah, sorry.
But they've recently started for these little Zoom sessions that I said I listened to on Monday. They show how to turn on the closed caption. So that they, as a presenter, have to initiate it. And then we, as a subscriber, can say, we'd like to see the whole podcast or the whole Zoom session and closed caption. And I wear the masks. You need a little help.
Why do I have senior, Tech for senior instead of seniors?
I think just because either that's the way,
Used already.
yeah, it may have been already used.
Okay.
You got to go with whatever websites are available.
Yeah, it wasn't available. Someone else said that.
We could check that out probably. Let's see here. See if it's available.
Is it that'll work? Yeah.
See here. So it looks like, based on this price, I'm sure it must be. I don't see here. Huh.
Just go to it as a witness with the S on it.
Yeah, I could try that.
Not that that's dangerous, but-
Yeah.
No.
Try to do
Oh,
that.
so it says it is for sale.
It's home care.
Try Tech 4 with a number 4.
with an S too,
Yeah, just
but with an S.
with an S. Yeah,
No, that's available too. Oh, it's parked. Somebody owns it,
oh, it's parked, somebody bought it and is sitting on it.
right?
They do that, some people make money by going around and
Yeah,
laying claim to,
websites that they think would be popular and they,
and some companies have made the mistake of letting go
right,
a website
right.
and then maybe choosing a new address, not knowing that when people are still going to the old one, someone's bought it.
Mhm.
Lorraine Visitors Bureau, the county visitor bureau.
Did they do
website.
that?
Well, it ended up, I think, Indonesian gambling site, something like that. Not porn, could be worse.
Well, we,
Anybody who just goes and says, you know, Lorraine
And
County
they-
Visitors Bureau,
And not thinking, they think, oh, this is.
when LCCUG first wanted to get online, we wanted to go with org because that was the supposedly the nonprofit type thing, and it was already taken. So we went with com, and it turns out to be that's the better one to go with anyway, because it's easier to get to. Everybody knows com. You just put an LCCUG and hit Control Enter, and
There
you're
was
there.
a Michigan,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I thought it was Kentucky. It's a Michigan. I
another
can't remember.
state.
Yeah,
Had LCCUG,
it wasn't Lorraine County. It was a
Yeah.
different county. Yeah.
and then when they, am I remembering right,
Did
when
they-
they went out of business, so to speak,
I don't
they
know.
offered it to us? Or they let us know it was,
No, apparently they don't. Yeah, they don't have it anymore. Huh.
yeah, I want to say they stopped using it, they said, I know you guys,
Mm,
and they made us aware that it was available then.
how about
And they were
that?
trying to sell it to us. That was my memory, but
Yeah, you're probably right, considering it's not there anymore. And yeah, but we're happy with com, and I think com is the way to go because nobody cares
and
about.
some people do com and org. you know,
Right.
the same.
If you're concerned about the porn sites or the scam sites getting your domain, then yeah, you would go with all the
You
iterations.
register every.
Right, and all
every
the
spelling variation.
exactly, all the misspellings you would try
White
to.
House,
Yes, oh yeah.
whitehouse.gov and whitehouse.com,
Mm-hmm.
and
Whitehouse.com is
the
a
one
porn
was,
site.
somebody else owned it was
Whitehouse.com is a porn site.
a, not what you'd expect.
Right,
And whereas .gov was fine, but a lot of people were just thinking
yeah, they don't know. They just, I want to talk to the White House, so they put it in and go there and get unexpected results. Well, that's everything on your agenda. Does that,
Well, there was,
graphic
headphones.
tools? You want to do graphic tools?
That's what this is. They were-
Weekly website, intro to graphic
Yeah,
formats.
but I
At
think,
your fingertips, as they
let me
say.
see what that introduction is, but maybe skip it to page 5, or 5 minutes. He
Uh,
talks about all the different formats, you know, there's JPEG, there's PNG, yada, yada, yada,
Oh,
and how
okay,
they're different, but I don't know if we really,
okay.
I can share the link, so if you ever wanna
Well, we just
review
go,
that to yourself, but he talks about 2 little programs at the end. I thought were useful.
okay.
Yeah, this one.
Website, Clean PNG, and it's at www.cleanpng.com. His website is Clean PNG. When you look at it, you're going to say, well, what does this website do? Well, it's a library of transparent PNG art at your fingertips, as they say, or for you to download. If you wish, you can also upload your own to share with other people. Just looking quickly, you can see some of the featured PNGs that are on the front page. And as we come down here, you'll see some topics that you can search on and then search more. So there's a whole bunch of topics. These will be added to and changed by season, but you can click on any of them. You can search the PNG for whatever you'd like. So let's try elder, sometimes senior. Find some things, elder is another. Let's go ahead and by searching for elder, came across one picture here that I like. It's an elderly couple. I'll click on this. This is what the picture looks like. See all these little squares in the background? That means it's transparent. That's going to show up as whatever's in the background of whatever you're putting it on top of. That sounds confusing. Well, pretty much shows you everything there is to know about clean PNG. You can search on different topics. You can do all the searching that you want. When you're done, you can say, okay, I want to download. So you just click the download. And you can see that it downloaded. Now, what I do is I go ahead and I right mouse click down here at the bottom. Now I'm in Chrome. I say show in folder. It will show me that file that I just did. And then I will also open up a folder. And in this case, it was here. So I have this, and then all I do is right mouse click and drag it over, and I'm going to copy it here. However, since I've already done that, it'll just say, what do you want to do? And I'm going to say, I'll go ahead and skip it. That's how I know where the file is. So we're going to minimize this. So now this is all there is basically to the website. You just look around, find whatever PNGs that you want to use and download them. And when you're ready to go use them, you can create a graphic for your Facebook page, a tweet for Twitter, for a website, a newsletter, whatever you want. You can do it very easily by utilizing some of these graphics. Now, let's do an example. I'm going to show you a bonus website. It's a photo editor called Pixlr, Pixlr.com. And I am using the E version, which is the photo editor. This is just an example of using any editor to use one of these transparent PNGs. So what we're going to do is create a new picture. We're going to make it 1920 by 1080. We're going to say, go ahead and create. So we now have a blank picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up an image, and I am going to use this image. And there it is. Now I want to take that picture. So I'm going to go to File and Open Image. I'm going to find this couple and say Open. And it opens it in a different drawing. And now, so what I have to do now is to go ahead and edit. I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to move back over to here, and I'm going to say paste it. Oh, now it's very big, obviously. So what we need to do is move it down a little bit. We're going to resize it. I'm going to keep it enough on the screen that I can keep doing this. So let's get it down. Now, why is transparent nice? Is well, transparent, you can see all of that background instead of being white. It looks like it's a decal of the couple on the back of the computer. I can save that picture. If you don't want a picture, you can just do a background, open a new image, do that again, create. Well, this time give it a color, make it blue, and now we can take any other image, copy it all, and what we're going to do here is we're going to paste, and we can come here. And I'll make that larger if we want. Move it over. We've got a nice picture with a blue background. And so it's now transparent and it looks very nice on this blue background. In essence, that's all I want to show you today. So you've learned 2 new sites. You've learned Clean PNG and Pixlr. I'm Huey Papa.
I know anymore, the way the computers are, that you don't have as much room on your computer. I don't know if you find that, especially if you get into a SSD. Yeah, the hard drive that's,
SSD.
because they're faster.
Oh, you mean room physical, you mean space for files?
Space
Oh,
for
okay,
files.
okay.
So if I just
Okay.
want to convert a picture or do something, I want to go to a website that has an online.
Instead of having to
graphics program.
install the
Instead of
program.
installing and storing some program that has to be updated all the time.
Okay. Didn't get what you were talking
Tricky.
about.
Yeah, I like to go and use a web version of something like that. What was it? Pixar?
Yeah, it depends on what picture it is, because I wouldn't do that for a scan of a document, a legal document, or anything like that, that you don't want
Because of the security.
privacy issues, right?
Yeah. Usually, because if it's a PNG, you might want to have it as a JPEG.
I wouldn't, but you may. No, I'm serious. I mean, I would never,
I know PNG is a
Why wouldn't you?
higher quality, isn't it?
yeah, PNG is going to, a JPEG will lose quality each time you edit it and save it. PNG is a much better quality, even though it's still a smaller space than a full-size TIFF. It's much higher quality, and it doesn't lose detail when you edit it.
If
So,
we'd have watched Huey's
Oh, they-
discussion of graphics that I skipped over, I'm sure he talked about how the
that's true.
different versions of pictures vary.
Anything you want to save for a long time or for
High
historical
quality.
purpose?
What's the one for photography that's the highest
TIFF.
quality? TIFF,
Or raw, yeah, the raw files.
or a raw file,
Right.
and those are humongous, but
Yeah.
the quality is.
Well, it's everything.
Professional.
It doesn't do anything. It's got all the bits. Everything's there
It
for a raw.
doesn't skip on it,
That's why it's called raw, because it's just a raw file.
and that's the most desired if you really.
If you're into that stuff, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, if TIFF is big enough, so that's got.
So
plenty.
there, but other than play around once in a while, I don't really have to
Right.
worry that much. I think the only other thing on that list was the headphones.
Yeah. Do we want to carry?
Yeah, might as well show.
Okay.
And then we can.
Well, do
share
we
that
have any
list.
other audience submissions?
Anyway,
Any audience submissions? Anybody got?
oh, anybody have one to recommend?
Yeah.
That you like to use?
This is.
This is, I never heard of these bone conduction headsets. And so he's got a little.
Okay.
Please
Oh.
like this video and subscribe to our channel, Bone Conduction Headsets. I'm Huey Potlock. There are several types of headsets or headphones. First, there's the on-ear headphones. Then there is the over-ear headphones. And then the earbuds. And finally, bone conduction, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Bone conduction headphones. I first saw one of these headphones advertised, and they were quite inexpensive, so I thought I'd try them. I've been using them ever since. This past Thanksgiving, for Black Friday, I purchased an Aftershocks OpenCom wireless stereo bone conduction Bluetooth headset with noise canceling boom microphone. And I'm using that microphone to record this presentation. Ludwig van Beethoven, the famous 18th century composer, was almost completely deaf, discovered bone conduction. Beethoven found a way to hear the sound of the piano through his jawbone by attaching a rod to his piano and clenching it in his teeth. He received perception of the sound when variations and vibrations transferred from the piano to his jaw. This has proven that sound could reach our auditory system through another medium besides eardrums, and the other medium is our bones. Beethoven took advantage of the bone conduction as well. Did you know that Beethoven lost his hearing? And he used a rod to hear his piano. The sound vibrations from the piano traveled down the rod through the bones in his head and into his ear. So how we usually hear? Normal sound waves are actually tiny vibrations in the air. The vibrations travel through the air to our eardrums. The eardrums in turn vibrate, decoding these sound waves into a different type of vibration that are received by the cochlea, also known as the inner ear. The cochlea is connected to our auditory nerve, which transmits the sound to our brain. How we hear with bone conduction. Bone conduction bypasses the eardrums. In bone conduction listening, the bone conduction devices, such as headphones, perform the role of your eardrums. These devices decode sound waves and convert them into vibrations that can be received directly by the cochlea, so the eardrum is never involved. The sound reach the ears as vibrations through the bones or skull and skin. This is a benefit for people with hearing loss. Many cases of hearing loss are due to damages to the eardrums. Since bone conduction does not use eardrums, people with hearing difficulties would be able to hear clearly again with bone conduction, provided that their cochlea is in healthy and normal condition. Generally, hearing loss could be described into three categories. That would be conductive hearing loss, perceptive hearing loss, and mixed hearing loss. Conductive hearing loss is associated with faulty transmission of sound and is mostly due to damages to the eardrums. Bone conduction is able to aid a conduction hearing loss because a bone conduction device performs the role of the eardrums. Perceptive hearing loss is associated with the difficulty in sensing the vibration by the auditory nerves at the cochlea. Bone conduction is less effective for perceptive hearing loss. As for mixed hearing loss, it's best to suggest a trial in advance to find out whether bone conduction could be an aid to mixed hearing loss because it differs among individuals. There's no shortage of headphone brands. You could probably name a half a dozen off the top of your head. There's also no shortage of headphone designs, earbuds, canal buds, lightweight headphones, and noise canceling headphones are on the market. Bone conduction technology has been around for decades, as we said before. You might have seen it used in some hearing aids. Google Glass adopted this technology as well. It has only recently been repurposed for headphones in the early 2000s. What about hearing aids and headphones? Well, can you physically wear headphones with hearing aids? Will headphones make hearing loss worse? The answer is depends upon your hearing aid and it depends upon your headphones. Top of the ear headphones is best for completely in canal, CIC, invisible in canal, or it can be used for in the ear, in the canal, and open fit receiver in the canal. However, feedback is more likely to occur with these types of hearing aids. Top over the ear headphones best for in the ear, in the canal, and completely in the canal, invisible in the canal, and also behind the ear receiver in canal. However, feedback is more likely to occur with these types of hearing aids as well. There are many types and brands of hearing aids. If you wear them, check to see what, if any type of headset will work. Many newer types of hearing aids will interface with your devices through apps, and a headset may not be needed at all. It's not likely that any style of earbuds are going to work with hearing aids. The issue is quite simply that the hearing aid is already sitting in your ear or ear canal, so putting another device in there just isn't going to work. Bone conduction headphones is best for in the ear and in the canal and completely in the canal and invisible in the canal. Yes, headphones can cause hearing loss. No, they don't have to if you use them properly. If wearing your hearing aids with headphones, be careful to turn the music down, as the music will be amplified. If the headphones push on the hearing aid or it sits too closely to the hearing aid, you may experience feedback, a whistling noise coming from the hearing aid. This is an indicator that you either need to reposition the headphones or are unable to wear those headphones with your hearing aids. Noise canceling or noise isolating headphones should be your primary choice. The biggest problem with headphones is that people turn the volume up a lot higher than it needs to be, primarily because of background noise, people talking on the bus, loud coworkers, and so on. Noise isolating and noise canceling headphones help to remove the background noise so you don't crank up the volume to dangerous levels. Regardless, you should always use a simple sound volume meter app that tells you exactly how loud your music really is. You should aim to be lower than 85 decibels if you are listening to music for an extended period of time. The benefits of bone conduction headsets, and number one, increased situational awareness. This is the big one. Immersing yourself in the latest playlist or compelling audiobook is a great escape when walking, running, cycling, or driving, but it's a habit that greatly increases the risk of an accident. Closing yourself off to the outside world also closes you off to trains, horns, and people hollering at you. More comfortable fit. Do your earbuds fall out? Do your ear canals hurt? Are full-size headphones too heavy for your morning run? Jamming out to your favorite tunes through your cochleas while still enjoying the sounds of the outside world through your eardrums is a unique, double-layered listening experience that is unlike any other. It's almost like having a superpower or background noise for your life. The benefits of bone conduction headphones are something you'll just have to see or hear to believe. My Aftershocks Open Com headset specs include frequency response from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. The battery life is 16 hours of talk time, 8 hours of listening. Charge time is about 1 hour, and it's water resistant IP55. The microphone is a DSP noise canceling boom microphone. And as I said, I am using that headset to record this presentation. So the microphone may have a little bit different sound than you normally hear in my recordings. So the pros of having a bone connection headset, or the particular one that I'm using, comfortable for long wear, extended battery life for long phone calls or long walks and listening to music and so on. Boom microphone enhances the call quality. Not all headsets have microphones. Cons, the shape is hard to store. Some sound lead may limit private conversations. And just because there's bone conduction, there's still noise coming from headsets that are bone conduction, especially those little flat ones that I wear in bed. You can actually hear them in the room. IP55 rating could be better as far as waterproofing, and the sound quality is lower than other types of headsets. So if you're looking for a really good quality music in your headset, bone conduction is not what you would do. Here's another example of a different brand of bone conduction headset, and I'm Huey Pop Live.
After I saw that, I had to, I looked for an inexpensive pair on Amazon, you know, a good rating, and I bought a $20 pair that go around the back of your neck and then just sit above your ear. And I just blown away that works. Because I don't like the kind that go in your ear. It never fits.
How was the sound?
Pardon?
How was the sound?
Yeah. Fine. Actually, I listen to books on audio more than anything. And I wore them in a grocery store while I shopped the whole thing, and they were comfortable, you know, and they weren't in, but you don't want to wear a huge thing like this. And the little ones, I don't care what you do, I can't get them to stay comfortably. And it worked just fine. It just worked perfectly. At home, I don't need the headphones so much. I'm usually the only one there and have a speaker on, but it's a fun option to have. So I thought it's useful to be aware of, especially as we get older and have serious issues, what the options are. And it worked for Beethoven.
Yeah.
I never heard that about Beethoven.
I knew he had a hearing problem and he wrote music, so
So how they compensated.
yeah, but I didn't realize that was like how he did it. Any other thoughts on
What websites do you guys like?
favorite website? Anybody has something they discovered or enjoy going to, or? We used to do this with like a long list of 100 different websites. And I think
They're still online, they're still on the website.
yeah, probably, yeah.
They are.
I haven't gone through to maybe.
I sometimes go and look for, I remember when the presentation was, kind of, you know, random guest
Yes.
At least, it should be newsletters by now.
Can we update the websites?
We add things to it all the time. Now, I don't think we.
Are you talking about the links?
The
part?
links page? Why
Yeah,
don't you show the links page? You go to the website and then click on links. I don't know that we go back through it and see if anything's.
I haven't gone back
Change.
since this, about this is where I stopped. So, yeah, I haven't really gone back down and fiddled with any of these older ones. But-
So it's buyer beware, whether it's still there.
Yeah, I did add some more things to this section here, because Clark kept putting out some more things about more streaming stuff, so I added those down here, but yeah, I haven't really.
So it
added-
may be growing.
Yes, yes.
And you added things from the cell phone plans. I
I,
see there.
yeah, actually, yes, that's
You
right.
did
'cause
that.
He puts out a lot of good stuff, so every time he does, I tend to put his stuff on here.
It's,
Um,
well, maybe show his what he said. So
Okay. All right, let's see here. Where are we?
this is a favorite website of,
Just Clark.
oh, is it just Clark?
Mhm.
I would have, I spoke both words.
Yeah, Clark Howard.
Clark Howard.
doesn't do radio-
Clark.com.
Right, right.
And he does what, podcasts? and-
Yeah, he doesn't do a radio program anymore. He got too old for that, but he still does his podcast. And you know, if you were looking for, like here, he's got cell phones. This is where you get good information about, you know, cheap cell phones and stuff like that.
So
um,
he keeps that up to date.
And
with,
the streaming services, he just recently put out this, you know, best ones for streaming. So do a search up here or just browse his webpage and see what he's talking about on the front page here. So, and you can subscribe to his newsletter.
Can you get through his podcast from there?
Yep, right there. It's his podcast.
Maybe start it for like one minute.
Let's see what we got here. All right, so.
People think unusual circumstances, how much it's part of my buying decisions now when I'm looking to buy something is I'm on Clark Deals looking to see what deal there is. And the Clark Deals team works so hard, the Clark team works so hard, and know this, you will only ever read something on Clark.com or ClarkDeals.com because we believe we're giving you the best information, best advice out there. We are unbought and unbossed. No one buys any content on our websites at all, which has become a big problem in the web world with what's called sponsored content. You're even seeing
Does anybody listen to podcasts? It seems like all I hear about is go to the podcast. I have a podcast. We have a podcast. I spend more time liking a podcast and put on a list than I choose to go back and listen to it.
How do you get to a podcast?
It depends on what the podcast is. As you saw, we went to Clark's page. That's how I usually get to podcasts. I tend not to listen to podcasts. I do a lot of YouTubes. And I guess YouTube's is kind of like a podcast. But most of the time, if you go to the website of the people that you're trying to listen to, they will have a link to their podcast. There are podcast services. I know Google has their own podcast service.
Like players, like
Right.
Spotify.
Right.
Spotify has a free player, and then you can go in and say, show me podcasts about such and such. And then you can read about them, maybe click on the ones you want to go back and listen to, and then you go to Spotify to listen to your favorites. I think you can set up notifications and they'll send you a.
A lot of the podcast players will automatically go and grab the latest podcast.
Yes,
If you tell them you want to get these,
And then they'll get
subscribe
a
to these,
notification.
they will go and grab them as they come out.
And then they're there for you, or you can listen to them. And you know, I always mean to do more with podcasts. Because it's all, did anybody see the TV show with Steve Martin and Short, what's his?
Martin Short?
Martin Short, called Murder in the Building.
Oh, that's on
That
Netflix or
was-
something, right?
Was that on Prime or?
It's not a broadcast
It's a
TV.
streaming.
Yeah, you've got to pay
It's a
for it.
video. I think it is
Part.
on
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
One or the
Netflix.
other, and it's cute because they're kind of old over the hill and don't know all this stuff, but they end up doing a podcast about a murder that happened in their building.
It's
and
them and one
humorous.
young girl, right?
Selma, or what's her name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Gomez.
Oh, her? No, I'm not that.
Yeah, she's cute. And she's the third of their little group trying to solve murders. It's humorous.
Yeah.
And they're discovering podcasts and they have groupies that sit outside their building, catch a picture of them. And, here they are. And they're going like, what? Anyway, it's cute. But yeah, podcast is really a big thing right now. You know, you wonder, because, you know, first it was, and I remember blogs. Remember blog? Everybody's talking about blog. You gotta have a blog. Then you gotta have a Facebook page, and then you gotta have a YouTube channel. And
That's where I spend most of my time is on
Yeah, but
YouTube
YouTube
because
is-
there's
I
so
do a
much,
lot of
so
YouTube.
much there all the time. I have trouble keeping up with my subscriptions, so.
yes, and you can discover anything, how to do anything or wonder about anything. I mean, it just, I did once a little thing on YouTube was purchased by Google for some god awful amount of money years ago. And everybody's wondering, what? I mean, it was incomprehensible why anybody would buy this little push ability to make little videos. And the first, I remember this as a librarian, the first, one of the first people that developed the little website, YouTube, went to the zoo and he says, I'm here at the zoo.
That was the first video.
That was the first video that was made using this technology and posted on YouTube. And look what it's become. Yeah, and people can monetize
Yeah.
their own video, and that's a huge. I watch this, you know, sometimes they feed you something, you know, okay, what is that? I go, look, then you kind of fall down a rabbit hole.
That's right.
And this guy had bought an old house, he lived in Canada, of a hoarder. So he made a deal that he would empty the house so the guy could sell it, but he could keep everything he dug out of there. And so every day you'd watch him, you know, explore and deal with this and deal with it. He was a nice guy, a family, he'd show his wife come and help and everything. And I got so hooked on that, but I ran into a website that evaluated the money he made, showing, he made as much money probably showing his experience on a YouTube page.
The more viewers. you get.
Yes, because how
And
many
then the
viewers and it
ads.
builds, you
And the
know,
ads
they
get
come
it.
see this and then they'll have another website where he's, or YouTube where he's doing that. And it's just mind boggling to me how much money.
Okay, so those in the room that are hoarders, we're sitting on porches.
But he threw a lot of it away. There were so many clothes in this house that the guy that he made a deal to take the clothes from said, I have no more storage for clothes. I give up, no more. And they filled all the secondhand thrift shops and Goodwills and everything with things to get it out. But he found actually silver and gold coins and jewelry. And he had a sense of what to put aside.
Do they pay taxes? Let's say this guy sold this house. Do they pay taxes on that income? And here's why I asked, because I was so surprised. The churches are tax exempt, but they're doing funerals on YouTube.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering,
but they don't
They're doing
monetize.
Church services.
They don't monetize.
huh?
They don't monetize.
Because they haven't set it up. as
We
a
have our
program,
videos on there. We don't get any money. It's
Because
just,
we
they're
haven't
just there.
monetized it.
It's just there.
If you go on YouTube and exaggerate how much money you're making, chances are you are going to get some kind of tax contact. Somebody knows somebody that's.
Yeah. And once you trigger a certain amount of profit, then
Is it
You're
actually
the
gets paid
system.
for
advertising
Right.
on their sites.
Yes, and they'll have
Right.
advertising.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So
Right.
they have to claim that because the
Yeah.
company's paying them.
This guy was emptying the house, he knew what to set aside for an auction, and he had a wing of the auction house to keep bringing the stuff to. And then he put on YouTube the auction as it happened for several days. And he was, oh, here comes this, so he's making money by people coming to watch the auction.
Wow.
Just to watch it. It was fascinating. And then I kind of got away from that too. Wow, I don't know what he's up to now, but, I mean, there's just so many opportunities.
I think on YouTube, part of it is you gotta, the more people that you get,
Yeah,
then the more pay, but I don't think,
Well,
I
it's
think
the-
there's a lot of low
It's the
stuff.
views, it's number
it's
of
the
views.
views probably more than the
Number of views.
subscribers, maybe
You
subscribers
gotta
a
get-
little.
yeah,
gotta
you don't-
reach a certain plateau
Right.
before you even get to that.
Yes.
Right.
The, what'd you say, the number of people seeing it?
Yes, views.
I picked up on two that I really like. One, East Idaho News, and they have their Secret Santa at Christmas time, where they give away $1 million, somebody does. And the other one is Caught in Providence.
What was it?
Caught in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh,
Okay, it's really interesting. It's an 80-some-year-old judge for the city. Does mostly traffic and things like that. Not trying to let people go. But once in a while, he pays people's fines from a fund that named after his mother.
oh,
Okay, and so that money that he's getting from that, it's coming from all around the world. And they had, I think they had a birthday party or something for him for like 85th birthday. I think they said they've got greetings in 67 countries on 3 continents throughout the world
contributed to.
that contributed, yeah, from this. So that's how, over,
How it can grow.
Yeah.
and be-
the whole thing, but it's just amazing. When you hear them saying, oh, this came from part of this country, but so and so, all these other things. It's like 67 countries, 3 continents. Like you say, so you're getting an audience, not just from Ohio or Northern Ohio or something like that.
Yeah, if you can think of the right gimmick
Yeah.
to have, bring something to watch you, on YouTube you create.
There's people that show you how to clean.
Absolutely. How to share.
How to do the hair, you name it, anything.
I bought some electric gadget, and you get these little fine printed little paper booklets that maybe. But if you Google it, and then it goes to YouTube, or YouTube it, you'll get detailed instructions with someone step by step showing how to use
How to
the
fix
item.
a car, how to do all kinds.
And sometimes you just have to pick up one thing from that that tells you, oh, that's how you did it.
It's
It's amazing.
just, Pam Carroll always tells how her husband learned to use a sewing machine and make leather seats for a car he was restoring by watching YouTube.
Pam, not Carol. Carol.
Oh, yeah, Carol. And he's one of my success stories I always talk about. Because, and then now he's teaching himself guitar. Which I hear that a lot.
We had a washing machine that lasted us 27 years, thanks to YouTube.
Yeah.
We fixed it lots of times.
Yeah. My niece spilled melted butter. Her oven door, goes between the glass. Oh, no. So she, found a YouTube that told her how to unscrew the screws, spread it out, yada, yada, and how to put it back.
I like to call it the University of YouTube.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, really? There's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And fun stuff too, little cute emotional stories.
Yeah.
So Sandy, on the website, it said to give suggestions. of
Yes.
Things that we would like, where do you want us to submit those?
We would like you to talk
If they're
about it
right
today.
now, it'd be good, but if you want to think about it, send it to.
Because I was gonna say that would be one interesting thing to learn how to create a YouTube video and upload You know,
You'd have to YouTube that.
yeah, and then.
Yeah, we can, we'll find the right YouTube to watch.
Right.
But sometimes it takes a little to sort through the YouTubes to pick out.
Yeah.
And another one I would be interested in, at least, is how to create a website and enter different things out there.
Mhm.
You know, I think Wix, I don't know if Wix is.
Yeah, I know.
Wix has free.
There's
Yeah,
something that
the
helps
free,
you do
the
that.
free
where it's
level.
Kind of fill in the blank more.
Yeah.
So those are just a couple I.
Well, those are, yeah, things we'll want to prepare for. and we can use them.
Alrighty, so we ready to,
I think otherwise we're. Oh my goodness.
okay.
And then, of course, the other one was how Nikki is doing this,
Oh my goodness.
you know.
I think if Vicky has to be absent, we're all zooming straight away. There's a new device that, what is it? Facebook has a screen like this that you talk to and talk to your
Oh,
grandchildren.
the portal.
Portal.
That's been years.
Yeah,
They've
well,
had
now
that.
they've got one that sits on top of your TV. It's a lot less expensive and it acts as a portal. So if you're zooming with family and stuff, it's all on your screen, all on your, you know, Aunt Myrtle and Uncle Fred, everybody, however your Zoom is going. And this portal is supposed to be easily incorporated in it, so you can do your Zoom content. And I thought it would be interesting to explore. You're supposed to be able to use it in an environment like this.
You know what the other interesting thing with you is there, like Roku doesn't have an internet app on their device to be able to bring up, because I like to read the newspaper on the television. And, you know, I know that Fire Stick has an internet, they have Silk on their
Yeah, we have
internet
Silk.
app and stuff, to bring it up. But, I mean, it's almost ancient or something, you know, it's not like a regular computer. Internet
Oh, right.
browser or
Do you
anything.
have a smartphone?
I do.
Because you could probably pull it up on your phone
Cast
and
it.
project it to your TV.
Yeah, I mean, I want one of the little device Roku or Fire Stick or something.
You want to do it through one of
Well,
those.
Google has their Chromecast.
I can't get my thing, I can't get that to work. Maybe I
Really?
should come in next week and bring it. For
That's
some
probably-
reason, it wouldn't come
I
up.
have the Chrome, I have the first Chromecast, now I've got the Chromecast 2W blah, 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 where everything works
Oh, yeah.
from one device. I love that. It's my primary go-to. Sometimes I switch over to my Fire Stick for certain
Is
things.
that better than the Roku and the?
It's-
Well, you know,
it's
I
for
got
different
Fire
things.
Sticks
See-
and Rokus on different TVs.
Chromecast only casts what you have on another device. So you need another device, whereas the
Yeah.
Fire Stick and the Rokus are the devices.
You know, another thing, I don't know, for $20 you can get a Fire Stick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Roku
Add
too.
that with your, even if you got a Roku, usually you have enough ports.
Oh,
to-
yeah.
So put HDMI 1 is Roku and HDMI 2 is Fire Stick, then switch over to your Fire Stick to, I don't know, because I don't use the browser, I use the browser to do something, but I don't usually browse.
Yeah, we're more desktop or laptop people. If we want to browse stuff, we do it on the real computer rather than on
So
a TV.
So Google Chromecast doesn't have all those apps on like Roku and Fire Stick.
Well, my new one does.
Oh, it does? It has apps, because the Chromecast I've seen, which is the old one, is
That's a kind.
you bring up your browser like Chrome, and then once you've got your Chromecast connected to the TV, you say, I want to cast this web page to the TV, and then you get to do whatever you're going to do on the computer, but it's displaying on the TV.
But the Chromecast, no, I just need that.
Okay. So it's more like the
And
Roku.
the
and
nice thing is if I want to switch to YouTube or something, or no, YouTube has its own app now. I want to switch to something else. I used to have to get the TV remote out and change
Yes.
source or whatever they
Yeah,
call it.
source.
But this little Chromecast thing does, switches me right over.
Wow.
Well, because I was gonna say then I really don't even need a Chromecast then because my computer will automatically talk to my smart TV.
Oh, well
And,
then,
yeah.
why don't you just
So
bring
you
it up
could
on
pull
there?
your, find
Right,
paper on your
bring your-
computer and send it to.
Bring your newspaper up on your computer and
Yeah.
read it off.
Yeah, I was just hoping that one of those devices would eventually get a good browser.
I think it's sometimes hard
Oh, it
to
is hard.
read that kind of print on a TV because of the resolution.
Well, it depends. If you've got a nice, at least if you've got 1080p, then it's gonna be probably as good as what you've got on the laptop, but if you've got a 4K, it might even be better. So, but it depends on what you're outputting as too, because like the Chromecast might not display at 4K resolution, so even though your TV is capable of it, it depends on what the source is.
Yeah, there's always something changing
Changing
and new and something. I had somebody, I did a little talk on LCCUG on cutting the cord. I did a contribution to it. And I mentioned I use Odeon Cinema, which is kind of, you have to take your Fire Stick and root.
No, you don't have to root it, but you have to
Yeah.
install all kinds of weird
And
stuff.
then install some software. It's a little easier now, but anyway. So this woman called me from Oklahoma, who saw that and had questions, and
Oh, wow.
nobody locally could help her. And then I connected her to my brother, who kind of is more digging into this all the time. But I just got a kick out of the fact that
Yeah.
So you can change things around on a Fire Stick then.
that more so than you can on the road too, as far as
Adding
Yeah,
unsupported apps
yeah,
and things like that.
unsupported developer. Yeah, you gotta go ahead and change things and set left these
Right.
things in, but it's an option.
so there's another good.
I don't know how, well, a couple of our members who know I do this kind of were uncomfortable thinking it might be illegal, or they weren't comfortable.
It was shady the way that they were
Yeah.
using Kodi to go to the servers that host all these.
And they're done
Free
by
TV shows that you're-
volunteers
that
and
are
everything,
supposed to
and they
be
come and
okay.
go because
Yes.
the college student knew when it ran out of interest.
Well, or they get sued or they get taken off the air.
The
or
ones in
whatever.
Europe are having trouble, but I very rarely, not even once a month, do I go and look at it.
I don't even try them anymore because it's just, there's so much stuff I can get from the library.
That's what Doug says. He
Or
says,
from-
I'm overwhelmed by how much I
Right.
can watch
Yeah,
on my
or-
streaming apps.
Right.
that
You mean
YouTube.
Pluto and all the other free stuff you can
Yeah.
get, so.
I don't need the,
They're talking about, the amount of screen time that children.
yeah, that's what the
But
adults
but I
say.
think all adults should worry about that also.
Yeah.
It might make you kind of.
Well, they say with the phone, I mean, if you ever go into a room, with adults waiting for something, everybody's looking at a screen. I mean, well, I always look and say, I wonder where that one person is looking at the screen.
That would be me.
No, that's what.
You don't do it?
Bothers me going out shopping. You try to drive through a parking lot. You see people come walking out of the store and the first
Oh.
thing it's.
What they say, so
And they're
when
not
this park
even
jack
looking.
is in Cleveland, they say, use your full attention,
Wow.
walking to your car and getting it started and leaving, don't be. I know I'll drive away from my daughters and I'll pull over on the side of the road and sit there parking and call back and say, I forgot to say. I don't try to do it right.
I can't figure out how people walk and text in their kids all at the same time.
One day I dropped my wife off to go to the store to get something, and I drove around in the parking lot stop. And I see a guy get out of his car and walk probably 30, 40 feet out of his car. He no sooner got out of the car and he's like this,
Already.
holding the whole thing, okay? He goes in the store, okay? He comes out before my wife, he's like 3 steps out the door.
And
He's
he's
going
back.
like this, and he's going right back toward his car, and I'm looking, how many times I've had where people, you're gonna hit them. They just walk out of nowhere and they have no idea what they're doing.
They say people don't read anymore, but at least they're reading,
Yeah.
God knows what.
Maybe they're watching YouTube.
Oh, that could be.
But you don't know, like I said, it is really, they're just hooked on it. They really are. And then you just see them walking every place they go, and they got this thing in their, they have no idea what's where.
here when you're driving.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
scary
yes.
part.
I was reading like a book or something.
Or putting on their makeup.
I saw someone years ago driving down a freeway, like 71 to Columbus or something, and he had a book propped up in his steering wheel.
I don't know how.
I saw that in Florida coming back on 75 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
He's got his book on the steering wheel like this. And I did everything I could to get behind the guy or ahead of him. He kept on speeding up all the time, so I just finally pulled over and slowed down.
You know, there's audiobooks now that are
No,
great
this
in the
guy had a
car.
paperback, and that's how he had
Oh,
to the thing, and he's going up a four-lane
And that was-
highway on
That was
75.
pre self-driving cars.
Yeah, this was 40 years ago.